stainless steel. Excellent for trimming delicate porcelain.
I feel like thing is just like, I guess be careful not to like scrape it against the back too much, because then it kind of like dulls it really fast.
Yeah.
Not like really fast, but like.
That's what I'm nervous about.
It's like a really nice to like get in the corners. Did you order from Ceramic Shop?
Mm-hmm. Hi Isaac, how's it going? Let's see. Hopefully I have enough water in here. Yeah, I am going to RockCon. Yeah, it is a lot to fly out there for a goof. It's pretty expensive. I'm staying with a friend, Megan Carpenter, so I don't have to pay for a hotel or anything, which helps a lot. Also, it's pretty close now, so I don't even want to look at what the ticket prices would be. But I don't know, it's a goof, but there's like a whole schedule forming. There's a whole comedy and music show on Sunday night. I think we're doing karaoke Saturday night. Is it just like a pool hang or what? I wanted to go last year and was mad that I missed it. Oh, no, it's so much more than a pool hang. Hi, Annie. Annie, are you going to come to RockCon at all? I know there is a pool at the hostel that most people are staying at, so we'll probably spend some time there. And I don't know if we'll spend like the whole day together, but yeah, it's my gracious host. Oh no, I'm staying with Megan, the other carpenter. Yay! Annie can share the couch with me, but it might be a little tight. Yeah, there's a comedy and music show Sunday night, karaoke Saturday night, and I think Korean barbecue also Saturday night. I just want to eat some edibles and sports, but I guess. Oh my gosh, thank you for the follow, RockCon official. Wow. Did you guys hear that? I wasn't sure if you could. Wow. RockCon official is sentient. I've been meaning to tweet that, and I just keep forgetting to. Your ears were burning. We were talking about you. I mean, edibles and sports bets are probably allowed, but I think there's more going on than just that. I'm making some handles right now, in case you couldn't tell. I need to order from the RodCon shop. I keep putting it off. RodCon has good ears. long enough? I'm just making 2 handles. We'll see how that is. A little RodCon gift, yeah. I have a bunch of my RodCon gifts sitting right here that aren't finished. I've got more bagel bites in the process. Hey James, let me show you the other bagel bites that are all dried out and need to be fired. Annie, you could, yeah, the Claygo bites. Annie, I mean, you have such a embroidery talent. You could do like little tiny embroideries, like little tiny ones, easy. So I've got just a couple here. They're drying out. So this is what they look like. I don't think they're fully dry yet. And once they're dry, they'll get fired and then I'll glaze them. Aren't they fun? Ooh. A RodCon souvenir. Yeah, I think I'm not gonna have enough bagel bites for everyone, so I might make some like something easy that I can just cut out quickly with like a slab of clay that I could give to, you know, everyone. I don't want to have to decide who gets the bagel bites. I don't know how that's gonna work. A rod mug. I would go to like Amazon to do that because I can't do that. That is way too much work. Yeah, I think most people are staying at the freehand. Hey, weird adult. How's it going? Okay, so these are what I'm making handles for. I just trimmed the bottoms. It's like a little coffee pitcher. Or pitcher for whatever you want. It is a Trader Joe's water. It's the pineapple one. So I've got these 2 that need handles. The other day when I bought more Trader Joe's water, the shelf was, like I picked one up and it was just soaked. Something exploded and the whole shelf was just completely soaked. I managed to find one that wasn't, luckily. But let's see, how big do I need this to be? Hey Matthew. Yay, I'm glad you like them. I like doing them. Okay. Let's see. It's about big enough. Just smushing these together so I can form a ring. Yeah, I was thinking of maybe taking one of the nut mascots and making those out of clay, but just like 2-dimensional, not a 3D thing, because that would be too much. But that could be like the other souvenir because I won't have enough bagel bites. Little Modesto's nut souvenir. Okay, we've got one ring. Let it dry out. If anyone is still looking to stay the freehand, talk to Little Smoky. Nice. Yeah, there might still be rooms, right, or beds, because they got rooms that have like a bunch of bunk beds. Pretty good deal. My flight on Friday, they've changed it twice since I booked it. Like changing it by an hour or so. It's wild how many times they've changed it. One of the streamers was making a ceramic bowl freehand. Which streamers? What? One of what streamers? And what do you mean by freehand? Like, not on a wheel? Were they coiling it, or were they pinching it, or I assume they were hand building it. Oh, you're talking about the streamer, like the popular Twitch streamers. Yeah, one of them did have a cast, and she was throwing with one hand, which I still want to try. Maybe this weekend, since it's a long weekend, I'll do a throwing stream. Mariah, have you ever tried that, throwing with one hand?
I haven't. I've seen it, and I'm impressed.
This girl, like, she'd never done pottery before. She was taking, like, one of tried out things, but she had a cast on one of her arms, so she couldn't do it, but she still tried.
Yay, props.
Yeah.
It's hard with 2 hands.
I was like, at first I was like, I mean, obviously it's bad, right? But I was surprised she was able to do anything.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, I want to try it.
Curious.
And I think it'd be different with right hand and left hand, like.
Yeah. Ooh, I want to try throwing left-handed. I feel like I'll fuck it all up.
Oh, just reverse your hands? Yeah. That would be tricky too. Sometimes I do it, like to like get a different angle on something.
Yeah.
I do a similar thing.
Do you turn the wheel the opposite direction?
No, it's just like, I don't know, maybe if I'm working on the rim or something.
Yeah.
Not like fully throwing. Yeah. Can clap with one hand. This just feels like a worm. Pichu claps its butt with one hand. Who does? I have the Pichu slapping butt emote now. Since Gals was going away, I added it. Okay. Alright. Got 2 kind of circular. Nice. Hey, Techno. Ooh, you got the spinning one. Nice. That's a good one. Okay. I need to let those dry out before I can attach them to these, so we'll pause and do something else. Yeah, I saw that Ross added the spinning one. It's a good one. Can't get enough. I can't believe that Heltron is gonna perform. That's so exciting. I'm so surprised. Rockon, that's quite a lineup you've put together. Pretty amazing. I'm so excited. I will be right back. Yeah, honestly, HT was the biggest get. I have a couple things I need to finish glazing. Oh no, I got some dark clay in the glaze. Could you do stand up at Rockon? Is there a list? I don't know, Rockon, is there a list? I have both of these clear ones just completely on. What's this? Stroking board? I guess I'll check the bucket, see if it's usable. What does Cindy use? You still need to get a keyboard. I feel like that won't be hard to come by. This isn't even open. Okay. I'm looking for clear glaze. I can't find any.
Are any of the other buckets clear glaze?
I don't think so.
I actually have a big bucket of clear, but I don't know if it's like oysters or something.
There's two containers. That's weird.
I'm sure you can open the clear one.
You think? I don't want to have to mix it if it's like really.
Yeah, 'cause I also can't find the drill, the mixing drill.
It's right there. Oh, the drill's right here. It's behind the plate. I don't think you can see it.
Oh.
Why? Why is it there? There's not like a stroking for clear. Okay, I guess I won't be doing that, and we'll just be waiting. Okay, never mind. Do have two things that I glazed this weekend that need to be fired. But I'm pretty excited. They're new glaze combos that I've never used before. So there's like pink and orange on the bottom, and then there's like a drippy combo on top. And this one has some green on the bottom and a drippy combo on top. So the colors on top will be different, but we'll see. Schedule is getting pretty full. Six octaves, wow. Yeah, it is kind of shorter colors. And then I started glazing this. This is just circles. It's another craft thing. But I haven't decided how I'm gonna glaze the rest of it. And it's a cup and a, like that. Okay, back to all of these little bagel bites. These two dried out a lot quicker than the other ones, unfortunately, so we're gonna try them first, see how they work. Now these are like too dry to mold, to give more of like the bagel butt shape that I have on these ones, where like kind of goes in. But I'm just gonna make a hole anyways so it'll dry quicker. Anyone have any plans for the long weekend? I don't. I will be cleaning and doing pottery and relaxing. Need to do some of that relaxing crap. Maybe I can carve a little bit. You're not setting off explosives. Is that sarcasm? Or are you actually not? Oh my gosh, that's a Denver to Vail. Ooh. I mean, it's not a brag. You're simply doing that. And I asked. That's very cool. It's very impressive. Hopefully the weather's good. Yeah, humble brag. I never really got into bike riding. It hurt my butt too much. And I think the bike I had for like most of my life just like I don't know, it didn't fit me. My back always hurt. I was biking around, but it broke during the, oh no, gotta get a new bike. Like, I wanna like biking, but it was just always so uncomfortable. But when I was in high school, that was like the only way I could get around, so I did do quite a bit of it. Do you know a lot about bikes? I'm always so intimidated. Like, I wouldn't know what to buy. And the ones that you have to, like, I don't know, 3 speeds or 2 speed or 1 speed, I don't remember. My friends in high school were very into bikes, and they had like 1 speed or something, and you had to like run to start the bike. You couldn't just like get on it and start biking. It was too intimidating. Yeah, fit issue, that's what I thought. Ooh. I don't know, I probably just went to like a local bike shop and just tried a couple and was like, this one probably feels fine. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't think I was like really fit to it. I just kind of picked one. And it was red, and I was like, I like red. Bike standing, yeah. I feel like you have to have a certain amount of strength to be able to stand on a bike. Maybe one day. I don't feel like I live in a super great place for biking now. Like, there are some nice paths, but the roads are too dangerous for my liking to bike. Do you ever bike, Mariah?
I used to bike a lot. I don't do it much anymore.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't want to do it in streets or anything. You worked in the bike industry for a long time. You need a minimum of 10 speeds, 11 or 12 is good. Just needs to get a used one because a new one to be good enough needs to cost. Holy crap, that's a lot. The Philippines hate cyclists. Oh no. Oh no. I grew up in Minneapolis, which is supposedly one of the most bike-friendly cities. So, like, even that, it's kind of scary to bike in the street, but it feels way safer than here. So I have bike habits from childhood when driving a car on a bumpy road. I'm just trying to, like, moisten this up, because it was kind of dry. That's what I'm doing right now. And then I'll put it under some plastic. Hopefully that'll keep it a little damp. You want to go to Minneapolis literally just to ride your bike. Nice. Yeah, I used to do this bike ride from the University of Minnesota to, I would like along the Mississippi River to Lake Nokomis. And it was like such a scenic, nice bike ride. And then you hang out at the lake, get some ice cream, and then you bike home. I love to do that in the summer. widen this hole. Okay, this one's a little less dry, luckily. Hey Penguin, how's it going? Mississippi is a long river. Very, very true. I think Grimes got arrested in Minneapolis like 10 years ago because her and her friend tried to build like a houseboat and take it down the Mississippi River. And really, you're not allowed to just do that. Also, her boat did not look like it was gonna survive the trip. Very, very small ocean. Interesting point. I grew up next to the Mississippi River, so I spent a lot of time walking along it. Yeah. Sometimes it smells really bad. Don't like it then. Sometimes it floods and then you can't walk on the paths. Sometimes I just get scared because I'm like, someone could literally just murder me right this second. And no one would find out. But besides all that, I love it. I always take a nice long walks along the Mississippi. You can like climb. There's some like cliffy areas, some caves. It's even fun in the winter. You can walk on the ice. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
That's risky.
I don't walk like all the way out.
Yeah.
I just walk like a little bit to where it wouldn't matter, you know.
Is it a lot wider than like the Delaware?
I don't know. What?
You've never been to like New Hope or
No. No.
Can you see to the other end of the?
Yeah, you can. But it's definitely like, well, it depends on which part, but the part I was at is like pretty long. I don't know how many like feet or you couldn't like swim. Well, you could swim across it, but it would be like a lot. Yeah, it'd be hard. No one does that. Comedian Kurt Brownholler jet skied the Mississippi. Ooh, cool.
People just ski in the Delaware River. It's really odd.
I don't know if I've ever seen jet skiing in the Mississippi. I've seen I was by like the University of Minnesota, so saw a lot of rowing, and you could just hear them sometimes.
Yeah.
I got a tour of the row house one time when I was in camp in like middle school, I want to say. The camp was through the University of Minnesota, and so we were just on campus walking around one time, and we went to go use their water fountain because it's like on the side of the building and anyone can use it. And then someone who was inside was just like, "Hey, you guys want a tour?" We were like, "Hell yeah!" So we got to like lift the oars and like see all the boats. It was really cool.
Awesome. My neighbor just joined like the rowing team, so we get to go out on the Delaware River.
Ooh.
But they have to like go out at like 5 in the morning. So
Okay, nope.
I'm like, the river's still gonna be there. You know, let's not go crazy.
No. Ugh. I don't know how do people get into rowing? It's such a
He said he's the youngest person, and he's like 30.
huh.
This is an old people sport.
Really?
So it's like low impact.
I had a friend in college who, like, people would just, maybe it just happened once or twice, but they would approach him and be like, do you want to be on the rowing team? Like, you're built perfectly for it.
Wow.
And he's like, no, I'm a musician. Like, I don't do sport. Oh, I need to put my initials in. I'll do it later. There's another comedian from Minneapolis, or not Minneapolis, Minnesota. What's his name? What is his name? Johnny Pemberton. Get into rowing by being rich or from Maine. Yeah, it does seem like a rich sport. Like, I mainly associate it with the Winklevoss twins.
No, me too.
Yeah.
Like,
That's probably where I found out
I
about
don't
rowing.
watch them row. I just know that they do.
Oh no, it's just the Social Network.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
It's just that. I heard they have a band.
A cover band, yeah. My friend, they were like playing by her and she's like, should I go? I don't know if she went. I don't think she did.
What? I would go.
I'll have to see if she did or not.
These people can just do nothing for the rest of their life and then they decide to do that. Bizarre.
You're built like you don't want to get wet, but you want, like, you don't want to get wet, but you want to be near water. Yeah, basically.
Like that.
I don't know, he's very short, but like strong. So I don't know if that's like something that
Maybe there's a
is
spot on the boat for everybody. And if you're like a really short person, you get to eat a coxswain and you get to leave the boat.
maybe that's it. Maybe they wanted him to do that. He'd love to be the coxswain and yell at people.
Yeah, like a megaphone. Just,
Yeah,
and
like
they-
telling people what to do.
And they lift you into the boat. You don't get in the boat yourself. It's like a very strange rule that they can't get wet. So they
Oh.
lift it into the boat.
That's funny. Okay, my little bagel babies are wrapped in plastic, so they'll stay nice and dry for when I put the cheese and stuff on them. Gotta do the butts of all these ones. These are like still pretty, well, they're hard. They're hollow. They want someone small who won't create wind drag, and then it's even better if you're buff. Well, good to know.
I'd be so heartbroken if someone says you're creating a lot of wind drag.
Yeah, do you take that personally or?
I definitely would.
The Winklevosses are huge into crypto. You know, I wouldn't doubt it. I don't really follow them too much, but I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, if you have tons of money, like, why not get into crypto? What do you have to lose?
Why not just go on vacation?
Yeah, why not just go on vacation?
For the rest of your life.
Right?
Why
No.
do people not like vacation? That's,
Because they get bored.
I don't know. And they gotta do weird stuff.
Yeah.
Start a cover band to find
Start a cover band to find meaning
meaning in life.
in life. Yeah. They probably have someone to blame for that too, yeah. I can't enjoy vacation because they stole my vacation. That was my idea for a vacation. was watching this video about how Elon Musk is too big to fail. Like, he just has so much money at this point that, like, even when even when Tesla stock plummets and he loses a bunch of money, like, it's not even like 1% of his wealth that like can be affected because he just has so much money. Isn't that insane? Like, he could do anything and he won't lose his money. Like, there's no venture too big for him basically to lose. Yeah. Not ideal.
Meanwhile, my 401k November check is floating in the mail somewhere. It's like lost.
Oh my god, oh no.
They like lost tracking on it. I'm like, oh god.
How does that happen?
It was supposed to have arrived yesterday and then it didn't. And it's like, it's gonna be late. Okay, it's on its way, but there's nothing since it's been in Trenton. And I'm like, I don't know. Just like saw that I had like the name of the bank on it. I'm just gonna take this.
Yeah, jeez. That's not good.
No. I'm like, I should just overnight it. Why am I so cheap?
Oh. Yeah, I don't know.
Hindsight.
I guess. Never think it's gonna get lost though. Have faith in USPS, right?
That's true. It's such a weird thing when you want to roll over your 401k, like you just like can't do it online. You like have to send a physical check, and it's.
I'm trying to, cause I've done that and I can't remember, but I guess I must have done that.
It's the most backwards thing ever. Like, why do you need this piece of paper? Like.
Yeah, there were like a bunch of, it wasn't too hard, but there were like a bunch of forms you had to fill out.
Yeah.
And I still get emails from the old company saying like, here's an update on your benefits. And I'm like, I have no money with you.
Yeah, I get that too. I'm like,
yeah.
I hope I don't have money.
It's been like 2 years and I still get those. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Like I sometimes get like emails from like places I used to have a credit card with. I'm like, I
Ooh.
hope I don't still have you guys.
Yeah. Hey mom, how's it going? Working on some bagel bites. Time is it? 8:20. Okay. Pretty good. A little bit tired. But not too bad. Will I freeze my bagel bites? Yeah, why not? My mom was recently very mean to you. I'm glad you're supporting Mom. Oh no! Why were they mean? Yes, my mom's very supportive. Yeah, that is my mom. Real mom. Oh, I'm killing my back. I keep forgetting to sit up straight. Aw, that's good to know. I thought you were gonna say your favorite child. And I'm an only child, so I would hope so. Carve a little more up here. Mom was just feeling stressed from her 2 kids moving out and across the country, and she was just real sad, and it came out in a way that she didn't mean. Can't fault her for feeling that way, but I can for being mean to me. Ah, that stinks. Dang. Hopefully she'll realize. Isaac, think of all the bike paths. I was at the post office this weekend, and the postman was giving me a package from my mom, and he was like, Minnesota, and then he like said the name, and he was like, I was like, yeah, that's my mom, like same name. And he was like, what are they doing in Minnesota? Then I was trying to convince him that the weather is very nice there. Although, except not the winter so much. Yeah. Now she's glad I'm not around. Now she has lots of free time. From Minnesota to Denver? Possibly. Apparently there's like a big population of people who like have a connection between Minneapolis and Denver. My friend's boyfriend is from New Jersey, and then for work he moved to Minneapolis and really liked it. But then he moved to Denver, I think also for work, and a bunch of his friends from Minnesota also moved there. So I feel like Denver and Minneapolis have very similar vibes. Post office caught you mailing weed? Oh my god. That's kind of funny. I guess FedEx is not as good with their security. Yeah, you do have the cats to yourself. That's true. Denver is basically just people from Minneapolis and Chicago now. That makes sense. It's very similar, except like it's probably easier to do outdoorsy stuff because it's not as cold. And there's actual mountains there. You'd like to imagine a bull smoking that contraband weed. Yeah, I wonder what they do with it. Ooh. I started a YouTube channel where I'm posting old pottery streams, which I should have been doing forever. I have like years worth of pottery streams that are lost now because I just let them die and disappear into the ether. But now I'm posting them all, so you guys should give me a follow and a like. If you just search MolCeramics in YouTube, I should pop up. There's a tweet by TSA of all the oversized liquids they use. Is it just like a lot? Like a room full of lotion and shampoo? They say in the letter they mail you that they destroy it in 90 days. They probably light it on fire. Yeah, they just wait till they have a bunch and do one big fire. It's part of their, like, what's it called? Team building activity. I also, a lot of shampoo and hard liquor. Okay, yeah. Silly people trying to bring whole handles on a plane. That's an expensive loss right there. Hey, An, I'm making bagel bites. This is one dried out. Still needs to be painted. So right now I'm making the hole in the butt of the bagel bite. Are you still on vacay? I'm spending lots of time at the Mississippi River, right? Aren't you hanging out by the Mississippi River? I won't say where, but the last thing I want to do is smoke weed with my coworkers. There was a row of snow globes. Ooh, interesting. I didn't think about that. Huh. Snow globes. Oh, you're in Montana. That glacier. Okay. Awesome. That's so fun. I hope you're having a good time. I've been to Montana once. I went skiing. You're at Bozeman, Yellowstone. Entrances are closed off, so no. Yeah, they had like crazy flooding, right? That sucks. Oh my god, On! Thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. Yeah, we went to Big Sky. Congrats, Megan and Penguin and Annie, both carpenters. Look at them. And Zoe and Thurston. Congrats, everyone. Yeah, I remember like very, very wet snow at Big Sky. Like fluffy, big, wet snow. It's beautiful out there. Yeah. I'd like to go back. There's a lot of places I want to go back. I want to go to like all the national parks. Congrats, Annie. Now you can use Pichu slapping butt. There was a Chinook, that's right, that's right. Clay is still so soft, I can just like smooth it around. On, how long are you there? You're still around. Streamlabs says I have zero viewers right now, which is weird. Do you need a wheel if you want to get into ceramics? No, not at all. There's a whole world of hand building, which doesn't use wheels. There's different techniques that are good for hand building. There's the coil technique where you take like a long coil like this, but you know, just not connected, and you wrap it around and you can make a whole cup that way. There's also pinch pots where you just take a little ball of clay and you pinch your thumbs in and you pinch around and you can pinch a bowl that way. There's slab rolling where you just roll out a slab of clay and then you can join it together to make like a mug. So there's lots of things. And if you wanted to make like a character or something, like you wouldn't throw that in the wheel anyways, you just mold that. You know, like carve into it, shape it. Yeah. You don't need a wheel at all. Can't believe it's only Tuesday. I feel like I'm too tired for it to only be Tuesday. Yeah. I'd say Thursday. If, I think it just like, I know that it's kind of a lame week because a lot of people at work will probably take off. I know there's already some people already on vacation, and it's a long weekend, so I'm kind of like, I just want to start the weekend now. I don't want to have to work anymore.
Yeah, why am I gonna pretend to work?
Exactly.
Ghosted.
Yeah. Seriously, like my boss is on vacation the rest of the week. And it's possible that other people will give me work, but I don't think they will. So,
It's good for them.
yeah. Although my boss's boss did come around this morning to be like, how's day one going of the new thing where I have to do two people's jobs? And luckily, I did have work that I had to do at that moment. I had like a couple things that my boss left for me. So I looked busy. So I was like, it's going great. But hopefully he doesn't come by tomorrow and see me like just not, I don't know, messing around, cleaning or something, organizing. Ooh, this one's bigger hole. I haven't actually done much hand building besides slab work. It's just like a whole other beast. And because I'm paying to use a wheel, I kind of feel like I want to stick with working with the wheel. The other hand building is maybe something I could do if I don't have a wheel. And I would like to try it. Like, you can make some really cool things that you can't make on a wheel because it can be all sorts of weird shapes. Is it possible to sit on a wheel and spin around? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Totally possible. If you like went to a studio and you were taking a class and you did that, they might not appreciate it, but it's definitely possible. And these I did throw on the wheel, but I feel like you could make them by hand, not too tricky. Yeah, you should definitely try it out. There's lots of videos, I'm sure. I mean, I just watch like a lot of Instagram videos and people tell you how to do stuff, and there's plenty on YouTube that could probably help you out, like hand building 101 or something. What a nice sound. I got so quick at these, so I threw 8 of these the other night, and man, I was like a machine. And it's funny because when I throw it, when I put the clay on the wheel and I center it like this, it looks like this. And then I open it in the center and I pull it out and I pull up the walls, and then I just connect the walls again and smush it back down to look like this. So it looks the same when I start and when I end, except it's hollow and like a little taller. One thing I should mention, Matthew, is that there's different types of clay. So like if you don't have access to a kiln, you might want to use like an air dry clay, or I don't really know what types of clays there are because I've never had to use that or research that. But if you were able to find like a studio or just someone around who has a kiln who would let you fire in it, that would help. But I also know there's just like kits. Like a friend of mine got a clay kit recently, and I don't know what the type of clay is, but it's not clay that you need to fire. I don't know if you can really use it as like dinnerware or like a mug. Like I don't know if it's food safe. Because you could paint it as well. But paint isn't typically food safe. You need glaze, which gets fired and turns into basically glass that makes it food safe. So yeah, that's not my expertise. But you know, there's lots of people who play around with clay at their houses, so you never know. There's also this website called Kilnshare, I think. I don't know. I think it's international, but I don't know for sure. And it just has people who have kilns that they will let other people use, because not everyone can afford a kiln or have space for one. So it's nice to share. Yeah, it's a great concept. Yeah, no problem. Love talking clay. I took some pictures today of these planters that I made. One of which is for little Pookie. And it turned out so good. I gotta edit the pictures and then I'll post them on Instagram. But I'm not sure, I might not get around to it till this weekend, unfortunately. Oh no, this bagel has a big hole. I want to make more planters, more like big things. Just want to try using more big clay because it's pretty easy to do stuff with a little amount of clay. But I'm not so good when there's a lot of clay. Like anything more than 3 pounds, tricky for me. 'Cause, 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 Yes. I think after I finish this one, I'll be done. The next step is putting all the cheese on it, and that'll take me a while, so I don't want to leave at like 10 p.m. I think this weekend I'll stream more of Outer Wilds too. I'm wanting to play that, but I haven't gotten around to it because there's also other things I want to stream. And there's the Dead by Daylight anniversary is going on, so I've been playing a lot of that. But I should have time this weekend to play more Outer Wilds. It's time to go up into space, so I'm excited for that. I was like contorting my body and just sit normally. You know, Bagel Bites Official on Twitter never responded to the tag. It's fine, I guess. Hopefully once these are finished and they actually look more like Bagel Bites instead of like piles of dog food, they'll respond. Free promo, like, why not? I follow a few people who make food on Instagram out of clay, and one of them recently posted s'mores that they made. It's very cool. Like a fat marshmallow, and some chocolate and graham crackers. I'm very impressed because the graham cracker was so thin. It looked like it would break any second. It's kind of a lumpy bagel, but you know, bagel nonetheless. Okay, all done. So I've got 8 more that I have to make, well, that I am making, and then I have 5, so I have 13 bagel bites in total. I don't think I'll have time to make any more, just because they take so long to dry. And I'll probably keep 1, so I'll have 12 bagel bites. It's a decent number. These are still a little wet. This one is drier, but this one's still a little wet. I don't know if I want to attempt to put it on. I might hair dry it first. Oh, they're handles for these. They're handles. Hopefully they're thick enough, because I made these pretty like solid. Like they're a little heavier than I would have liked, but I wanted to make them thick so they were sturdy, because person said that they put a lot of force on them when they're holding it, so they wanted it to hold steady. So I'm gonna grab the hair dryer real quick to dry these out just a little bit. Before I do that, I'm going to fit them onto these. Let's see. Decide which one goes with which. And just kind of flatten out part of it. Okay, so now it has a flat end right here. Okay. Now I will dry them a tad. Hi Pichu, how's it going? Putting some handles on these guys, little fellas. And the paper. Okay, so I gotta measure out kind of where I want them to be so they are in a logical spot. Don't want them off center. So what I do is I think that looks centered. So just mark off on either side where it's gonna go. Then I have the little marks and I just scrapey, scrapey, scrape. So it's all scraped. And I'll do the same with this one. Kind of like very watery slip. I don't have a lot of slip. But that's okay, I'll make it work. Is that the way I want it? Yeah, I want it like that. And then just stick it on. I'll use my brush to just smooth out everything. Really squish it down. And I might actually like crop it so it sits like this overnight. Oh no, I did it a little off center. No! No! I think it's good enough. Good enough. We'll have to do because I don't want to take it off. Okay, and then I'm gonna prop it up a little to sit like this overnight. Okay, let's try and make this one not off center. Nope. Sometimes I have to remember which way I position the handle. It's hard to remember. Yeah. Gonna be very cute. Have to move it. Oh, should I knock it? To move it over a little bit, but I think it's pretty straight. Oh, it's a little crooked. A little better. Okay. Here it is. Hopefully the handle will be sturdy enough. I'll put lots of glaze on there to hold it on even better. hopefully the pouring, the spout is good. I'm nervous about that. It is surprisingly trickier than you would expect to make something that pours really well without just like dribbling down. Alright, hopefully that pours alright. We'll find out. Oh, yeah, this was the first one I did. Okay. Okay, I'll find a different way to set these up later. Alright. I think that's about all that I have time for. Couldn't do any of the glazing I wanted to because I couldn't find clear glaze. But that's alright, I'll figure it out for this weekend. Maybe I'll do a drawing stream this weekend. Alright. Hope everyone has a great rest of your night. And I will see you next stream.